Hey, it's Brittany Fowler, Natural Doctor Mom here. I want to welcome you to my doTERRA 1. That was the theme of doTERRA's convention this year, of the recap. And I was able to go Thursday and Friday. Saturday, I had my own event that I was doing, sharing essential oils on how it can benefit hair, skin, and nails. Got a couple of new distributors and new enrollments from that event, so I was super stoked about that. But also I attended the Share Success Summit, which is put on by the Goddards every year, as well as now they've teamed up with the Sedavies. Haley Hobson was there, like hundreds of other blue diamonds, presidential diamonds, and so it was very motivating as far as building your business and getting out of your own way. So I'll do a separate video on what I learned from that one-day event that was on Tuesday of last week, and I'm just going to focus this 5 to 6 minute video on what I learned at convention and what is so impressive about doTERRA for me. And so, gosh, what they released at convention was first new products. Thursday's always the best day because new products are coming out. Everybody's excited. Like, nobody's like sick of sitting in their seats for days. Like, Thursday's really the best day to go to convention. And then, so new products, right? And then of course they highlight the company and like how the company's doing and co-impact sourcing and, how the oils are rigorously tested and how we're different from other companies out there so that we can be clear on how to communicate that as we're teaching about these oils. And then I'll just kind of briefly overview like my general feelings about convention and what I could improve, what I feel like could have been improved upon, and then what I hope to gain next year as I go to convention. So doTERRA has its convention every September, held in Salt Lake City, Utah, and thousands of people come from all over, not hundreds of thousands, but basically about 30,000 people came from all over the world to come here to our fun city of Salt Lake City. I'm in Sandy, so not too far away. People from China, Korea, Europe, East Coast, West Coast. You had Mexico, Australia, a ton of people from Australia. So it's just, doTERRA is global and growing and fabulous. And what I love about convention is that the excitement's in the air. Like, everybody's there for the same purpose. And that's because they love essential oils and they love the company. And so the one thing that I really, really loved about the new products that are coming out, first of all, there was 2 new products, okay? There were 2 new essential oils. The first one is petitgrain oil, sourced from Paraguay, and the second is spikenard, and that is from, I know the word, not Tibet. Where is it? I can't think. Okay, sorry. I'll come to it. I know it'll come to me when I'm thinking about it. So let's talk about petitgrain oil. It is sourced from the leaves and the bark of the bitter orange tree. And one thing that I thought was interesting and they let us know that was so great is that there's lots of different petitgrain oils out there. There can be, because it is sourced from the bark and wood and leaves of the trees of any kind of citrus oil. So you could have petitgrain from grapefruit. You could have petitgrain from sweet orange. You could have petitgrain from lemon or lime or bergamot even. But they chose the petitgrain oil, okay, from the bitter orange tree because of its therapeutic properties. And I'll briefly go over those, but I want to talk briefly about the co-impact sourcing that they're doing there. And that is so great to hear because the company that I affiliate with and that I quote work for, even though I'm my own distributor, like I want to be associated with somebody who cares, and doTERRA cares so much about the sourcing and the farmers who, may only have 6 acres to their name, but can help us get these pure essential oils into our home and also help them with their families, right? So there were a lot of farmers years ago who went out of business down there who were sourcing petitgrain oil because the distilleries broke down, right? And the middlemen who were controlling the flow of the oil, they pretty much just up and left and said, okay, well, you're on your own. So Paraguay became a big producer of soy. So they cut down the rainforest where they were at and started to grow soy, and they became subject to the pesticides. Their water became contaminated. So it's been a bad road for these poor people of Paraguay who were these farmers who were relying on petitgrain oil. But they just, and so doTERRA has come in and said, look, let's help rebuild these distilleries and get you working again because we want your oil, right? So they've gone direct to the source. They're going to help them. And so we get this petitgrain oil, which is fabulous, right? So one way that Dr. Hill described it was, petitgrain is basically the same chemical components almost as lavender, right? So you get the same therapeutic properties as, it may help with calming and may help you with a better night's sleep. And so it is calming to the body. But a lot of times I get a lot of people, hey, I don't really love the smell of lavender. What else do you have that's calming? So petitgrain would be right? Would be the oil that I would go to next because of its therapeutic properties, where it is very similar to lavender and its therapeutic benefits, but it kind of has this citrusy smell to it as well. So it kind of reminds me of bergamot in the fact that it's a citrus oil, but it's calming. Anyway, super fabulous. He also talked a little bit how it can, and I'm going to say this compliantly, just like Dr. Hill did. He showed a picture of arteries, right? And how your arteries are actually full of, there's a smooth layer of tissue that's in your artery. And he was very specific when he said, this may help to relax the smooth tissue of your arteries because there's been lots of research on that. So if those are relaxed, if those smooth muscles are relaxed, you can imagine what that would do to help improve your overall health. And that's how much I'll say about that. And then the second oil that they're sourcing is spikenard. So spikenard, and I heard spikenard, I was like, oh, that's an oil of the Bible. For some reason, I knew that. I guess I'm just an oil junkie. But I remember it being like this catch-all oil in the Bible. Like it was this really super expensive, highly sought after medicinal oil in the Bible, and everybody used it for everything. And so it was fun to learn. Spikenard is actually harvested off of hills that are like this. And so these women, they carry these like headband type backpack things on their back, and it actually comes from a root. Okay, what they do is they pick apart the root, they put 10% of the root back in the hillside so it will grow again, and that's where the spikenard oil comes from. And the growing season, I guess, is actually really short, and the harvesting season is actually really short for the spikenard. So when I heard that, I thought, oh, expensive oil because of a short growing season and also the rarity of it. So it does come in 5 milliliters. I don't know the retail or even the wholesale price on it yet. It will be available in October. But one thing that Dr. Hill did say, spikenard, and I'll learn more about it, but he said if you're making a blend of any kind of blend, put spikenard in there, because it used to be the catch-all of, hey, when in doubt, use frankincense. He would always tell us that. He's now saying, when in doubt, use frankincense and spikenard. So you can kind of get the gist of why it's so wonderful for our bodies, and it is so chemically diverse. So they went through all the chemistry. And then, of course, new products. Super, super excited. They've upgraded the children's chewable vitamin. It's now in watermelon, and then they added some chemicals that help with brain development. Okay, super excited. And I'm glad, even though my son likes the strawberry ones, he was like really excited about the watermelon. And then also, along with that, they created, a probiotic junior. So it comes in a little packet or a satchel packet, whatever. And it is also watermelon flavored. So you can put that in a drink and they can drink it, or they can just eat it. And they're like, kind of tastes like a pixie stick, right? But it has no artificial sugars, no artificial dyes, and all of the good bacteria strains. There's 5 billion strains of probiotics, which actually when they said that when we make the product, we make it a 10 billion strain. 6 strains, 10 billion count molecule in each packet. So by the time it, has its shelf life, by the time you're actually eating it, it will for sure have a 5 billion count, right? For those of you who understand probiotics, you'll understand that. And also they explained the reason and thought it was really important that we know that each bacterial cell is actually encapsulated. So they found a company over in Europe that encapsulates, that has this process of encapsulating the bacteria to where when it's in your stomach, it doesn't get ruined, okay, by your stomach acid, right? It doesn't deteriorate. So then once it's in your digestive system, that's when the coating comes off, and then you get these really good bacteria into your gut. And I'm so grateful that doTERRA cares about my children's health, because I have been looking for a probiotic that I'm like, can we just make it like a good one and healthy and awesome for my 4-year-old, because he can't swallow pills yet. So anyway, we've been lacking that in our diet for our 4-year-old, so I'm really happy about that. And then, of course, you have all the spa products, and I'll just highlight some of my favorites. So glad that the body wash, is back full-time, because they've had the body wash only in, like, the holidays, right? And we always get like 5 or 6 because they just end up running out, and it smells so wonderful. So the body wash is back full time. The body butter is back full time. The sugar scrub is back full time. Okay. They added a mug mask, which I am so excited about because I love masks. I feel like that's something that's been missing from their skincare line as well. And then, of course, they have a new bath bar that is supposed to be super awesome, and I haven't tried it yet, but I'm sure it smells wonderful. And then they have a Serenity Complex. So those people who have a hard time falling asleep or staying asleep, you know, I've always introduced Serenity to them to see if it would help them fall asleep. Well, doTERRA has listened to us finally and actually come out with a complex that you can take internally called a Serenity Complex that will help you fall asleep quicker and stay asleep longer without any side effects. So super excited about those, and all these products that I'm talking about are available October 3rd. And so if you have questions about prices or anything, let me know. I can help you. You can find me on Facebook, naturaldrmom.com. Facebook/naturaldr for doctor, and then mom. You can contact me that way. You can also find me on my website, www.naturaldrmom.com, and also my doTERRA website, which is www.mydoterra.com/B as in boy, and then Fowler, Fowler. So convention, new products, super fabulous. Was very excited to be there with some of my leaders and my builders and my great friends across lines. Convention as a whole, like when they highlight the company, and that's the part that they spend a ton of time on, making sure that you know that doTERRA is the #1 leader, right, in the research. Okay, when it comes to, they are the essential oil industry leader in research and development. And they've been given a ton of awards for that, okay? They also, through their co-impact sourcing, which is their outreach, okay, beyond, you know, where they source the oils, they're actually creating over 18,000 jobs, okay, for this co-impact sourcing. They've created over 6 different schools this year in rural areas, and like, just the list goes on and on and on. They're building 2 more wells in Haiti where they source the vetiver from, that helps support mood and concentration. And it's just such a wonderful, uplifting feeling when you go to convention. And if you didn't go this year, you should be kicking yourself, and then commit to come next year, because it will be, I think it's the week of the 8th. I think it's the 7th, 8th, 9th of September for next year. So plan on that. Tickets will go on sale in March for $145. I think, yeah, they said $145. So in March. So you have a few months to earn that money, and then come on out to convention. You will not regret it, and it will be fabulous. One thing I just want to highlight, my overall feeling of convention, right, and what I would do different next year. I love the science. Don't get me wrong. I love that they had, you know, people that were doing research from Johns Hopkins University and Hospital, and University of Utah Huntsman Cancer Institute, and like, they had their doctor's panel, which they talked about how to use essential oils internally safely and how they're using them in their practice. And in their surgical rooms, they're actually using essential oils and documenting all that. And doTERRA's main goal is to make essential oils not only in every home, but mainstream, right? Mainstream, meaning when you go to the doctor, guess what? They want essential oils there as an option. And so they are working towards that. That is their goal. And so I love that they say, look, the only way to really do that is to prove the science behind essential oils. And so a ton of time is spent on science. Word to the wise, when you're coming, make sure you bring something soft to sit on because your rear end will hurt after a while. Make sure you bring 2 water bottles because you'll like run out of water and then you'll like have to go upstairs to fill it up and then come back, whatever. Also, go to the bathroom before you come to convention because the lines in the girls' bathrooms are incredibly long. And also make sure you go with somebody that you love because it's so much more fun to bounce ideas or to get excited with somebody that you love and you adore and you're building doTERRA with, and it's so much more rewarding when you're there with those people. So those are my tips for convention. Enjoy the journey, enjoy doTERRA because they are fabulous. They're a fabulous company to be aligned with, and they're a company that you can trust, and they're a company that cares about science. They care about quality. They said, one thing, I'll say this and then I'll leave you, but they said, we know that there are essential oil companies popping up all over the place because they see our growth, right? I mean, over their 8-year period, they've had over almost $4 billion in sales, and like $2.5 billion of that is profit. So other people see, like other companies see, oh, hey, we should add essential oils to our line. doTERRA is not stupid. They know that they're popping up. They actually test their oils to make sure that they know what's going on and what's coming out, what the quality that's coming out. And so they said the one thing, we're not worried about them, right? We're not worried about compliance. The FDA will work with them. We're not worried about that. What we're continually worried about is making sure we have enough essential oils to supply the need because we are going to grow exponentially. And so I just that is their number one concern. And so I love that because they're looking forward. They're looking ahead. They're not worried about these people around them, I don't know if you saw that in the Olympics where Phelps is in his, doing his butterfly, and you see the person in second, looking over at Phelps as he's doing a stroke, but Phelps is just focused right on the wall. He's focused right on his goal, right? And I feel like that's doTERRA. doTERRA is Phelps going for the wall. Everybody else is going to be behind us, we're still going to work hard because you have to work hard and prove that you're a company that is, worth being aligned with and worth being around. But at the same time, we're not really worried about these people back here or these other companies. So I love that because that's my mentality, right? When it comes to building doTERRA and inviting people into my line, there's enough for everybody, right? There's enough for everybody, and there's enough for you to get out of debt completely. And this is an opportunity for you, right? To learn more about convention and learn more about the company and align yourself with something that is fabulous and a fabulous product. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about convention. Again, Brittany Fowler here, Natural Dr. Mom on social media. And I just want to thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you later.